Perils and Paradise is here, and it's time to review some cards. Now, I know you're thinking, why come to this lone YouTube channel with 75 subs when I could go to the people that play money for the game? And I ask you, can they do this? Short answer, maybe. But anyway, let's get into it. First thing to nail out, Paladin. What do Paladins do on ladder right now? Well, I'll tell you. They've got mining, mediocre, not really a deck, hand buff, a classic of Paladin, over a staple over the years, and then you've got kind of swarm, play some mountain, sea giants. That's the three archetypes. So now we know that. Let's see where the new cards are going to fit in. What's the tier list before we get into this? Before I start throwing random ratings around with arbitrary values you don't understand. Well, one star, we'll see 0 play. 2 stars, it's like a tech kind of, oh, we got a Highlander deck. I've got a deck slot. I'll maybe throw it in, but like it's like a whoa. I didn't expect that in there, but that's kind of cool. That's a 2 star. 3 star, played, but like I'm gonna say we're talking. It's never meta. It might turn up in one Tour Masters event from one weird player that's trying to be different, you know, for esport. Like it's not. It's there. You know the card. You know what it does. You know the card art for it, and you're like, oh, it's that one. But it's like that's not good. 4, great card in a great deck. You'll see it a lot this expansion. 5 will get nerfed. Yeah, right, let's get into it. Okay, the first 2 cards that I think might fit into existing archetypes are Grillmaster. So let's review that. Grillmaster is interesting because it's a Paladin minion, positive. It draws the lowest cost card, which could be, you know, which is good because you want lower cost stuff. The more lower cost things you buff them, you can play more lower cost things out. That's how hand buff right. Try that. I don't know what level we're at. That's what we want. Cheap shit that's good. But the death rattle is the interesting part. Now the death rattle is draw your highest cost card. Your Ziliax with the gets cheaper with every minion doesn't factor that in while it's in the deck. Therefore, this Grillmaster can tutor the Ziliax with all of its enchantments that you're like, buff my minions. So it's good for Flood Paladin, need to get the cards this side. Flood Paladin, and then also hand buff is just gonna, like, even if you don't have the Ziliax, or the Ziliax you've got, who doesn't have a Ziliax? But somehow you don't. Your Peacekeeper Titan is gonna cost 7. That's probably gonna be up there at the top. I think Grillmaster, it's a good enough, like, if the 5 mana 3/3 Divine Shield legendary found a way into decks, there's no reason that a tutor for your highest and lowest cost cards and a minion won't find a way into a Paladin deck. I'm putting it at 4 stars. Stankozil, next one to rate, a legendary. I think this fits into the hand buff theme. It's a 5 mana 3/8 rush. After this attack turns into a location. This is the location, and as confirmed by software lead engineer, the attack of the minion will convert into what the buff attack is on the location. And I'm assuming that when you use the location, it loses 1 health and then turns back. So with that in mind, where does it fit in? Well, I think a hand buff would love to turn this into what, like a 7 attack minion, 6 attack minion, and then we're rushing in, we're killing a guy, we're turning into location with health. We're playing a Leroy on the next turn, buffing the Leroy. That then the Stankozil's turning back into a minion. It's hitting the taunt, and then the Leroy's going face. The deckhand's going face. You've got multiple as well. Like if you get 2 attacks out of this, we're then getting like a deckhand, and then yeah, the Leroy or whatnot. It's gonna be pretty good. I think easily 4 star. Although it lives and it dies with hand buff, I don't think it's good enough outside of giving charge or just generally really good minions. Obviously, it's an enabler. So it lives and dies with hand buff, but I don't think hand buff's going away. Therefore, 4 stars. And I think that's it for things that fit into decks that are already decks. The rest look like they're trying to bring their own vibe with the Sun Creams. So let's knock out a really bad card first. I'm looking at Volume All. After it's 3 mana, 3/2 weapon. After your hero attacks, get a 1 cost sunscreen that gives 1 plus 1 plus 2. I think that you don't want to have. This doesn't fit into hand buff, first and foremost, because you want to tutor your weapon with your 1 mana draw guy. Why draw a weapon from your deck. Instrument tech. I think. Yeah, so it's never replacing that in those decks. This, once again, lives and dies with Sun Cream being a deck. Now, before we really evaluate the Sun Cream cards, remember, Lady Liadrin is in standard at the moment on the core set. Therefore, any Sun Cream you cast, you're going to get back. That's pretty good. Volumal, I think, 2 stars. I was saving this card to last and I realised that it's actually quite an important card for the Sun Cream deck. So we'll tackle it now. We're looking at Sunsapper Lionessa. This card, this side. You need to remember the cards go on this. Sunsapper Lionessa. Sunsapper Lionessa is a rogue tourist. Your spells that cost 2 or less cast twice. Now, what is a tourist? I hear you ask. Well, if you put Sunsapper Lioness in your deck, you can then pick specifically the Pearls of Paradise rogue cards into your Paladin deck. Now, let's look at the card. Really good. How this fits in with the Paladin cards is that you can play your Sun Creams a lot more quicker. Double dipping. Cold Feet is going to be crazy with this card. You've just made it so your opponent could only play spells next turn. So maybe on turn 7 you play Lionessa Cold Feet. Your opponent maybe can't deal with it, and then you get on 8. You have 8 mana to play double casted Paladin double casted spells. So you don't know where they're coming from. Yeah, pretty good. Also, good maybe with the mining deck because Shroom Chevette can get casted twice on this. Double Divine Shield, kind of weird, I know. But you can get that guy, the dude, pretty quickly. Interestingly, from Rogue, O Manager, deal 2, combo, get a coin. So that's dealing 4, gonna give you 2 coins. Those 2 coins will cast twice, so you'll get 2 mana from each. You're back up to 4 mana, and then you can play Petty Theft to get some more cool cards that you can then play with your Lionessa. I think this is a warping card. It's going to be really good. What else can we get from Rogue? Shishil could be good with hand buff. The next card you play with a non-rogue card costs 2 less, so it's basically a 1 mana 3/2. And then you just dump it on the board. Almost pays for itself. If it's a hand buff, then it's like gonna look like a 1 mana 6/5. Swarthy Sword Shiner is gonna be pretty good with Painter's Virtue, because I mean the weapon itself is getting a buff, and then if you swung a couple times and then you play it again, you're gonna get what, 5 swings out of this bad boy. It's gonna be pretty good. You can only have 1 tourist in your deck at one time, therefore you cannot put the really awesome rogue tourist card in there for any hero. That's going to be a really good card, but we'll get into that later. But I still think that we are putting Lionessa at tier 1. It's ironic that the tourist card from Rogue is going to be the strongest. But it kind of makes sense. They love stealing things and they're in a different class. It's going to be pretty good. 5 star. 5 stars. Okay, let's smash out a bad card that I think fits nowhere. Power Spike. what are you doing? Dealing 4, giving 4/4 to a thing is a holy spell. Don't get me wrong, but do you know what it gives me vibes of? It gives me vibes of the deal 2 7 times, but if it hits your guys +2/+2, if it hits an enemy, deal 2. That I think was a holy spell. Never saw play, was bad, and that is a more flexible power spike. Therefore, power spike 1 star. Lifeguard. The next spell you cast has lifesteal. I think is going to be 1 star too. Has taunt, I know, but you've got the 5/4 rushes with the lifesteal that's gaining you so much health at the moment. I don't think you need more lifesteal. Caveat to that is that it's not the next spell you play this turn, it's just the next spell. And also, 2/7 taunt is a nice body to hold buffs on, because the higher the health, it carries the attack better. Does that mean I think it's good? Oh, it's tough. I don't want to write it off. I think the only justification for it could be that you're playing it to preload the prismatic beam to deal all, and then I mean tidal wave was backbreaking at times from Shaman back in the day. Is it good? First ballsy pick. 1 star for this card. What? 1 star for this card. Sea Shanty, 10 mana spell. Summon 3 5/5 pirates. Cost 1 for each spell you've cast on friendly characters this game. I think that in the Sun Cream deck, that this will obviously be one of the stronger cards in. You've got Lady Liadrin to cast more. I think if you're playing Sea Shanty past the time you've played Lady Liadrin, though, that's not the point in the card. You want to try and get it out as soon as possible. I think on a good hand, you're getting this out on turn 5. For example, you might Divine Brew 3 times on turn 4. It's already down to 7 mana. Oh, that's tough, actually. Bring it down to 5, you need to play 5 mana's worth of stuff on the first 4 turns. You only get 10 mana before turn 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're telling me I've got a cast to get it out? You only get, that'd be 2 Divine Brews maybe. A life-saving aura. Like, let's tackle that one first, actually. Alright, life-saving aura. At the end of your turn, get a 1-cost sunscreen that gives it 1/+2. This will be a staple in the Sun Cream deck. Is the Sun Cream deck good? We'll have to find out. I don't think it's going to be that good. I'm going to give it 2 stars. Divine Brew will get played in the Sun Cream deck. Is it that good? We'll have to find out. I don't think it's going to be that good. They're not even that good to play with Lynessa, I believe. I mean, they're not bad to play with Lynessa, but they're not like, whoa, you're doing what? You know, Druid, you've just seen Splish Splash Dragon just got nerfed. What's Druid doing with its mana on turn 6? Or what? And you're gonna give a guy +2/+4 because it's doubled. Ooh. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a believer. Therefore, Divine Brew and Life Saving Aura, yeah, 2 stars. Out of this deck, Sea Shanty is going to be the outlier. It could be good. It's going to be the power card of the deck. I'm going to give it 3 because it will be the better card of that deck, but it's a bad deck. Therefore, yeah, Sea Shanty, 3 stars. One thing going for the Sun Cream deck from the neutrals is you do have Weapons Attendant. If you control another pirate, equip a random weapon from your deck. If you've got the Sun Cream weapon, you're going to have pirates from the 10 mana summoner guy. I don't think that's a thing. 6 mana to then equip your weapon that's going to give Sun Creams. It's good. It's not quite Carlin. Boo from me. The interesting card from this all would be Service Ace. How good is a Service Ace? After this minion gains attack, reduce the cost of the highest cost card in your hand, which is going to be Seashells on a seashore. Sea Shanty. 3 mana 3/3. You're not playing on 3. Maybe you do it on 4 and reducing something by 1, so she stands coming down by 2. It's gonna be good in the late game, but you're not cheating anything out with it. Maybe my brain's all thrown away because I've just been with druids cheating stuff out the whole time. Or evolve shaman, evolve into a board of legendaries on turn 5, and what we're reducing the cost of She Shanty by 2. Service Ace 3 stars. It'll find some use in some deck of reducing. It's like Mirrodon. Mirrodon couldn't have been bad back in the day. Mirrodon had Holy Mackie Roll. Mackie Roll was better than... Is Mackie Roll better than Sun Creams? Is Mackie Roll in standard? Mackie Roll's not in standard. Mackie Roll's not in standard. Yeah, yeah, 3 stars. Alright, that's the review done. Hope you enjoyed. We're gonna do a review every day until we get the expansion out. I'm excited. I'm gonna drop a twist power rankings at some point. I'm trying to get the content of playing on every class, but there's 28 fucking classes, and then I want to rank them. So it's an ambitious project, but we're getting it done. Alright. I will see you in the next one. See you later.